Hope you guys can hear me. Welcome in this evening, guys. I've been rocking out to the oldies. Can you hear me? Hey, welcome in, guys. Inside Edge, National Coaching Call tonight. Jump in. If you're joining us on our YouTube channel, we're live. If you're joining us on our closed private Facebook group, we're live. If you're on TikTok or any other platform, every once in a while we do go live. I'm not sure what we're doing, because a lot of people are running that. But welcome in, guys. Somebody asked me today. I was on a private coaching call today. Recently, towards the end of the year. Hey, how's it going, guys? Drop in your comments, drop in your questions, say hello. I can't see where everybody or who everybody is over here, but I can see some of the questions tonight, and I'll also be able to respond to some of them as well. But they said, hey, have you always been a problem solver by nature's good finder and problem solver? And I was like, well, because they were talking about myself and Bruce, we did our little lemonade stand, right? Little lemonade stand growing up. And we were 5 and 6 years old. And then from there, we've always hustled money, mowing yards, or selling Christmas cards in August. How many of you here, when you watch this, how many of you went to the mall when you were like preteen and teenager before you could even drive? You go to the mall, right? And you go in there. So I love going to the mall. We don't do that anymore. So many cool things that we had growing up in the 70s was like the bomb, by the way. We had, I think we had the best of both worlds because we didn't have technology, but now we do have technology. So I think that's really cool that we get to experience both of that as our generation, Gen X. Now we can argue about all that other cool stuff later, but okay. So they asked me, have you always been a problem solver? And I said, yeah. And what is that quote? Necessity, is the mother of invention. Because when you need something, you figure something out. Well, we didn't have a lot back then. So check out my side hustle or my the mall scam that I had. Because the mall is awesome. You'd go to the mall, right? You'd cruise the mall and see a pretty girl and try to see her again. But you'd also shop around. You'd hit the record store, right? Check out the new music. We had a corn dog place. You got to get a corn dog. And then we had the awesome cookie factory. Go get a cookie. And we had this thing called Brothers Pizza. Man, you had to get a piece of pizza. But that took money, right? That took scratch because you could burn the whole day at the mall without really having a lot of money. Well, I had no money. So we were at the mall kind of cruising. And then my mom or dad would drop us off, or my buddy's mom would drop us off, or it'd be me and Bruce. And we'd get dropped off and we'd start running the mall. And then when we wanted to go home, we'd pick the phone up, make at the pay phone and call collect. And Nana my mom and dad would decline it. That meant that we're ready to go home, right? You guys have done that. Some of you done it at the mall. So have I always been a problem solver? So we'd go to the mall and I would have a $5 bill, not 5 ones, not 5 and some change. I'd have a $5 bill. And at that time, we spent a lot of time at the arcade, right? We called it the kaleidoscope when we were growing up. We had a kaleidoscope is what we did. And let's see. What's up, E? So I was just talking, and somebody asked me today, Edwin, have always been a problem solver, and I said, it's because we just had nothing to do, so we would think about how to make money. So they would drop us off at the mall, and then when we got ready to come home, call the payphone. I got a collect call from Michael, and my mom or dad would say no, and then they'd come pick us up. That was the key. That was the cue, right? So we'd stay there as long as we could. So I started going to the mall when I got a little older, interested in girls. In 7th, 8th grade, we were cruising. But long before that, in 5th grade, 2 years before that, 5th and 6th, me and Scott Berman went to the mall one time. And then Bruce and I turned this into our side hustle. So we rolled in. We would take a $5 bill, take it to the arcade. We would slide it in. And at that time, they gave you tokens and quarters back, right? So you would get, before tokens, you would get quarters. So if you put a $5 bill in, for 2 or 3 years, they would give you $6 back. So you'd spend more money. Well, I started putting a $5 bill in, get $6. Then I would turn around and start selling. People would have $1 bills, and I'd say, "I got you," and I'd take their $1 and I'd give them 4 quarters. Well, if I did that 6 times, I took my $5 bill, and now I had $6. And then I would do 7, and then 8. So I would do that over and over again until I would have enough money. I would have enough money to buy me a big old slice of pizza. I'd be able to buy me a chocolate chip cookie. I'd be able to buy me a big old orange Julius from the drink thing. And then if I really stayed there all day, I'd be able to buy me a little cassette tape or something. So, yes, I've always been a problem solver. We needed money. And so I'd come home after eating, spending the whole day, playing as many games as I wanted to. Miss Pac-Man, I was a killer at. And Joust, I was pretty good at that too. But I'd play as many games as I wanted and come home with the same $5 bill at the end of the day. So, yes, that's what we were. We were problem solvers. I don't know if that's me freezing, Edwin, or you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you great. Can you hear me okay? Yes?
Yeah, it looked like you might have been freezing up there. I don't know if I was or you were.
I was punching. I was going, way to go. Good stuff.
Yeah, man. So welcome in, Edwin. I just told everybody we'll have some questions come in later, but no matter where you're joining us, thank you guys for jumping in tonight. I hope you want to plug in, recharge, get ready to rock and roll. I've been running since 4 o'clock this morning, Edwin. I've gotten my 15,000 steps in today, and I know you've been coaching all day long, man. Where are you coming to us from this evening?
I am coming to you from the 36th floor of the Eastern Towers in North Hills in Raleigh, North Carolina. You can look right out here and see the entire skyline of beautiful, our capital city here in North Carolina. I'm like you, Michael. I've been going hard all day, started really early, got my exercise in early. I spoke today, blew them up today, drove up here. You know, we talk about life by design, right? Drove up here this evening. Got to see my daughter, Keely, coach her basketball team. And, you know, it's a nice little segue to what we're about, is watching people incrementally get a little bit better, right? Get a little bit better. Can you – is my signal okay? Can you see me okay? Great.
I can hear you. You're freezing a little bit, but I can hear you, brother.
Yeah,
no problem.
It could be I'm on a shared network, so it could be a little bit of that. So just let me know if you need me to stop. Or right now you can hear me okay? Yes. But the same for our audience is focus on getting incrementally better every day. The reality is, so Keely was a great basketball player, college graduate. She's got a job in the real world, Research Triangle Park, great job. But the kid gives back, and she remembered great coaches that poured into her. So she's now a middle school girls basketball coach. Wow. Well, they are over, right? If you only measured wins and losses, beautiful little girls, but very little basketball skill. But, man, watching them get incrementally better. So they lost today 31-22, all right? You'd have thought they won the Super Bowl, Michael. They came off that court. They were so excited. They were jumping up and down because they knew that they had laid it all on the line, and they have gotten better every day. And what a great lesson for us in our professional life is, you know, anything worth doing is worth doing poorly until you can learn to do it well. Our great friend, Mr. Zig Ziglar, was famous for saying that. So that's a long-winded answer to your question. Be careful what you ask me. I might just keep rambling. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Hey, that's not rambling at all. I love that piece of it. As a matter of fact, when my son Trent was very young, he was playing roller hockey before he could play ice hockey. There wasn't even a rink around. And you can see that's his first ice hockey jersey right there. Wound up playing all over the world, played in Switzerland, Italy, played in college. And he just was a really good hockey player, good athlete all around in a lot of things. But we started him very little, and he couldn't stand up at all. And we'd have practice 30 minutes before and then go play a game all season. Well, I would take him up to a parking lot, and we'd spend about 10 minutes, 3 days a week on top of the practice, just 10 minutes. And we would just work on and I couldn't even skate, by the way. I was way worse than he was. So but I spent 10 minutes just sticking, puck, and skating. By the end of the season, he was skating. Everybody's like, how'd you get so much better? That's exactly what you just said, Edwin. Incrementally better by spending a little bit of time. It didn't cost any pain. Well, he had fun. I had to make him, by that time he was wanting to do it all the time. But just spend a few minutes with him a day. And that's what I do on all skill set. When we look at our entire scope of mindset of a champion in life by design, spiritually, mentally, and physically, I spend a little bit of time on that every day. And I still get down. I still get a little depressed and anxious. Woke up this morning and had a little something on me, man. I got at 4 o'clock in the morning. I finally hit the road at 5 and just took off. And I had a great day. It was beautiful outside. I was outside all day, made a big difference in the company. We had a guy that was out with COVID. I just stepped into his role, did it. And nobody even knew who I was. It was just awesome. I had a great time, but also got to clear my head, spend a little time with myself, and really just gratitude. And I was incrementally better all day long because it's a skill set that I hadn't done in a lot of years. I was doing it 20 years ago when I was hustling, wearing all the hats in this particular company. So I got to do it today, and I got incrementally better all day. But you've got to spend a little bit of time with it. You got to be intentional about being intentional. How many of you, and there's people that we're coaching right now, E, I know that you coach, hundreds of people. I mean, I've been coaching a few people personally. I've taken on a few more. And they are right now in their plan. They're changing it. They have it. They finished it. They brought it to me. And now we're changing it a little bit at a time. And we're just changing the focus. It's like that eye doctor, right? This better, that better. Now. Well, that's where we are right now, bro. Get incrementally better every time. And it's really cool when you see little kids like that, especially. I know they were fired up, man. 22 points in the game from what they were scoring is pretty impressive.
Yeah, and and Keelu's very excited, and again, this has application to our professional life as well. But I told her, I said, to watch them play with that much energy, I said, it's difficult to take a team and coach them to an undefeated season. It's equally difficult to take a team that has not won and watch them play with that much zest and energy, because a lot of teams would have quit by then. That is also great coaching. But Michael, you said something there. You talked about, the people you're pouring into and the business plan. And I love the reference to the eye. In fact, I've got a new idea for a new sales class that Edge Global, I think, can offer that deals with some of that same matter. Interesting the way you use that analogy. And I communicated something over the weekend. I had an idea about that.
Simpatico, baby.
It really is. But you're in your business plan. Hopefully you've got a plan, right? Michael and I can help you refine that plan, reset that plan, right, as we need it to. But it's going to evolve. And, we talk about this. It absolutely is a journey. And your business plan should be a journey. That's why we say take a look at it 12 weeks at a time. 12 weeks is long enough to create a measurable and to adapt, right, and move. Michael talks about knowing your KPIs, but it's finite enough, right, to keep that short-term focus. And it's a wonderful thing to do if you thought about your business planning, to lift the veil off the month-to-month mentality so many people live in. And why? Because it's ingrained in us. We reward month to month. Employee of the month gets this parking place. Salesperson of the month. How much money did you make? I made X amount a month. It's too tight, especially in the world economy we live in today. You need a broader snapshot, right? Because all too often, Michael, just take this from what I'm about to say and riff on it, man. Love to get to some questions too, but you that 30-day window, when you don't get the immediate results, the gratification of it, so often we stop. And most people stop their New Year's resolutions sometime in the next 5 to 7 days, right? Because we're pressing forward at the end of the month. And that newness has worn off, but yet you hadn't gone far enough. You haven't gone far enough to start realizing. Michael and I will share with you that the work you do when I'm coaching someone and they say, hey, man, coach, I'm starting to feel the results. I say, let's go backwards for just a moment. How long ago did you really ramp this intentionality up? And almost always they go, about 90 days ago.
Yeah.
So you see the results are always about 90 days from the work. Not always, but good patterns always predict sustainable and predictable results. You know that in everything you do, Michael.
That's right. I mean, it's funny you say that because the people that lose are the ones that just quit. You almost had it going. I had a guy today tell me that. They said, man, I've tried. I just busted my, head up against the wall. I feel like I'm not going anywhere. He goes, but you said one thing to me, don't quit. You said, don't quit. Just keep hustling. So I gave it 4 more days, and I wrote it down for the first time in my life. And then I looked at it for 4 days. Well, first of all, what are you doing writing something down 4 days in the first time? And I've been talking to you for 3 months. Come on now. I got up on him a little bit. And that's what we're going to do. I'm going to get up in your ass when we need to. I mean, I'm not perfect. That's for sure. I make more mistakes than anybody on this platform still to this day. And I own it, step in front of it, and go for it. I think that's BJ that just told me, great job, like I never left. I got a rock star back, Edwin, about 2 weeks ago. She's a rock star. She's been on me for 2 years trying to get me to go back to work. And, man, she's the one that didn't miss a beat. She just is, man, I'm so grateful. And when I know I got off on a side tangent, but I just saw that comment. You don't build a business, bro. We've been here for 20 years for a reason, with people like Jack Kilgore that's part of this group. People like BJ, she's a part of this group. You don't build a business. You build people, and the people build the business. And there's a standard that is unspoken in that business that we're talking about. In that industry, that we bring the standard, we set the stage, and that's awesome to see you there. I appreciate you jumping in, because we had a long day, baby. We had all day, then we got in, took off, and went up north and came back down. We had a fun day, and it was really cool to be a part of that. I'm energized from that. But so many people today quit before they get there. That's why we got Edwin. I love what you just said. You got to widen it just a little bit. The gap's got to be bigger. It's got to be wider. You got to give yourself a little more time to do here. This is what you got to do. You got to give your time to fail. Anybody that works for me, especially in the tech world, when I was building IT stuff, and we're still a little bit techie, I'd say you spend 20% of your time bringing something new. Spend 20% of time not on the business plan, not on iterating on the product that we have. I want you to go build something new 20% of the time. I don't care if it's in this industry. I hope it's not. Go build a better snow cone machine and bring it back to us, because we're going to talk about it. So 20%, and telling that to somebody, saying, hey, whoa, I got 20% that I don't have to do anything, that's not going to be tracked. Yeah. If you do have already put that person, set the standard that we have to get to, my businesses, when I do it right, run better when I'm not there, Edwin, than when I'm there. Because they want to prove to me on a broader scope, not just a week, not 3 days. They want to look at it quarterly, how they're doing, how we're doing, what are we doing, how are we getting better? Because they understand. And understand this, guys. If you're off your New Year's resolution already, the diet, the drinking, the no dry January, or going to the gym, or being intentional, or getting up in the morning, seeing your gratitude for your 30 minutes you're going to spend, you're only one day. You're one moment away from getting back on track. You got to give yourself more time. And I think this, Edwin, is what I think that you would agree with, and I want you to take this and run with it. But you got to give yourself more time to fail.
Let me figure out what happened to my life. Hold on 1 second.
Edwin just went dark. But you guys got to give yourself more time to fail. If you look at it as a month at a time, or if you look at it in a week at a time, it's just not enough time. You got to give yourself a month to fail. And then when you fail, you got to look at the journey, see the pitfalls. How'd I screw that up? What'd I do wrong? I spent the first part of this morning chasing my tail. And the BJ, when I got back, she's like, that's all you got done? What'd you do when I was gone? Boy, I get lit a fire in the meeting. I was like, all right, you're going to see some production. So give yourself, here's what 2 things real quick, guys. Write this down, take it with you, put it on your gratitude list in the morning. I'm grateful for learning this. How can I put it in my broader pan, not a month, not a week, maybe a quarter, 12-week year, right? That's what we're looking at. Tell yourself, I want to take 10 to 20% of my time and work on something cool. Work on something different, not even in my industry. It might be a side hustle. It might be time with my kids. It might be going out and working on a project at my house. Whatever it is, give yourself that 20% to do something different, because I guarantee you got time to do your job from there, and you'll get better at your job when you go do something else for a minute, take your eyeballs off of it, and come back and look at it. Give yourself more time, and I want you to look at your week by week by week up to a 12-week, 6 weeks into it. How have I failed? What did I miss? Not the good things. And here's the deal. It's hard for us to look at the good things sometimes. That's built into your business plan. That's built into the business plan to look at our success and our wins. I want you to look back and go, okay, what were my misses? What were my missteps and what were my fails? And everyone looks like you ride the struggle bus over there, bro. You all right?
Oh yeah, I was reaching for a book I was going to show as
The
an
wheels are
example.
wobbling with Edwin.
I'm all good. Yeah, I'm all good. I thought I had a book here I was going to show our audience. Go ahead.
I heard something crash.
No. It's all good. There's a little bit of a delay between you and I today at night, so I can't hear you exactly. I was reaching for a book to illustrate a point you just made, but go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Nothing, man. I just want you. I mean, I'll let you guys take it. We won't keep you guys too long tonight. Somebody else said great reminder. Go ahead, Edwin.
I got a question to somebody that's watching on one of the platforms from Charleston, South Carolina, and they said they were talking about how you and I keep going. Like, hey, I agree with you, but how do you keep going, right? And you talked about give yourself time to fail, right? The more you fail, we talk about this often. Michael and I will be doing a keynote speech or something together, and we say, hey, we failed. The only difference is we failed, been willing to fail more than most, right? And both of us have done that. But also you have to have that process that we talk about so often that you come back to. So you go out and you chase your tail for a day, you don't get the immediate results, you feel like giving it in or going back and trying something new. Every time you do that, you really are starting back over, right? So go ahead and keep pushing forward. One of the things that I'm doing a little bit, that's been an addition to what I've done previously this year, Michael, and maybe there's some value for our audience here, is I developed 3 words that spoke to me. And they're on my win list daily. What's important now? And that keeps me on track, right? So the trust process is embedded in Michael and I. But I added 3 words. You should always be adding to your process. That gets you deeper, builds your foundation stronger. And my 3 words this year, sometimes you hear people say, pick a word, one word. What's your one word for the year? That's become a common theme. I picked 3. And it is, you'll appreciate these, Michael, because I just wrote this about 4 or 5 days ago. Design, life by design, something Michael and I that we live by and we have a brand by. Design, deliver, and determined. Those are my 3 words. Design, deliver, and determine. I encourage you to mimic these 3 words. Now, here's the challenge. Not so hard to come up with 3 words that speak to you, but can you challenge yourself? And this is an emotional and a mental challenge that forms your foundation. I challenge myself to come up with 2 more words underneath those that start with the same first letter. So under design, and I wrote it out just like this: design, deliver, determine. Underneath it, I wrote canvas, a C, canvas. Because Michael talks about how you overcome obstacles. You're turning them into stepping stones. How do you go from where you are to where you want to go? Well, the canvas is in front of you this year in 2023. It's right in front of you. And the good news is you have the pen or the brush in your hand. Start with what you know. Fill it in, right? So canvas. And the second word under my design is choices. At the end of the day, it comes down to choices. Success is a choice. The little choices you and I make every day are going to be a strong catalyst for what your canvas looks like in 2023. And if you don't design, and you need a coach to help you do this, your 2023, it will design you. Right? Michael talks about that. Michael says, do you want to try to climb the ladder or do you want to own the ladder? Either ways, nothing wrong with either one, right? So canvas and choices. Under deliver, all right? I'm going to deliver, you and I, our audience will deliver more with energy. What kind of energy? Positive energy. And I'm going to be enthusiastic in how I deliver it, right? Energy and enthusiasm, right? And then that's actually under my determined box. Sorry, I got it offline. In the middle, deliver. What am I going to deliver? I'm going to execute, right? I'm going to execute in that delivery phase my intentionality, my good intentions. I'm going to execute on them. And you got to put the work in. And what am I going to deliver? What are Michael and I going to deliver? We're going to deliver excellence in all that we do. You could say I'm going to deliver something. I'm going to deliver a pizza, okay? Or I'm going to deliver excellence in all that I do. So then when things get a little rocky or you feel some disconnect or some days you're just not feeling it, you go back to your 3 words and you let that become your drive, right? That's just add that to the trust process Michael and I teach. Man, you're well on your way to actually achieving your 2023 business plan, and then break it down into 12 weeks. We'd love to come along beside you and help you with that, Michael. Take our audience on. But anyway, that was a question that we got from Charleston, South Carolina tonight, and I wanted to I hope that answered.
Love that question, brother. That's a great question and also a great answer. And they said, how do you keep going? How do you keep it together? How do you keep going? I just got this today. I don't know if you can see this, bro.
Oh,
she just got her book in that you recommended. Carol Chaney, she got it in. She also told me she got her business plan going.
Mine.
She's feeling better. Her word is there it is, baby. That's right. Get it if you don't have it. Unstoppable. I see somebody saying breakthrough. Her word is unstoppable. But here's what from what they're asking. How do you keep going? You guys are always up because we have a standard. When I'm in front of people, when I'm in front of somebody, whether it be the person at the clerk at the 7-Eleven, the Stop and Shop, or at the Piggly Wiggly grocery store, or somebody that doesn't even know me in one of my businesses that I'm just coming through, I have a standard I have to live to make them better than they were, leave them better than I found them, right? Always be a good finder. But how do you do that? How do you stay motivated? How do you stay motivated? Edwin, you just said it by adding those words. It's by discipline. Motivation comes and goes. We talk about that. Motivation is going to go away. It's going to come back, I promise you. But discipline is how you create sustainable, predictable results. When Edwin gets down, he goes back to when he's going deeper in his 3 words, and then what's underneath that, the canvas, when he starts thinking a little off track or, confused, or when he gets away from his win list, he goes back. And what does that do? How does he create motivation? By his disciplines of reviewing his plan. How do you create? How do you continue to go forward? How do you create motivation? How do you stay excited? How do you stay up? It's by discipline. And I'll give you 3 things, not my 3 words. And we've talked about it before. And I had this conversation again with my daughter the other day. And I'll leave it with this. When I started coaching kids, when I got to coach my first team, Edwin, we went 0-for. We lost every single game. And I said, don't worry, guys. We're a lock for the most improved team next year. Now, a year later, guess what? Those Coach Picks kids, they went undefeated, baby. We won the whole thing. We beat everybody. So it was cool to watch all that and do that. But when I walk on the field, the very first day, me as a brand new coach, walk up to these little 7- and 8-year-olds, and I said, 3 things. That's all I got, 3 rules. Here it is. Play hard. Have fun. Make it count. Because if you're playing hard, that means your head's in the game.
That's right.
And if you're having fun, you got the right attitude. Play hard, have fun. If you're making it count, that means you know that the ball needs to go here. If it's hit here, I need to run here. And what is that? What is that? Play hard, have fun, make it count. It has evolved into AMP. Attitude, moment, process. Here's what the grown-up version of play hard, have fun, make it count is, guys. I'm going to give it to you right now. And I've said it before, but I want you to write this down if you haven't. It's called AMP. Let's amp up. What does that mean? Attitude. Not the right attitude, the determined attitude, the upset attitude, but always moving forward, a positive attitude, period. That's your attitude, because you can't control anything else, but you can control your attitude. I can't control that person in front of me, but I can control my attitude, what I want to do. The moment. Can you control what's going to happen? No. You can do some things in this moment to try to get those sustainable results and predict it. Can you do anything about the past? I don't care how bad it happened. I don't care what it was, what happened to you in the past. You're 1 moment away from making a decision to change. Attitude, moment. That's what we can control. So focus on right now. And you got to use the process. The process helps you control the moment. And ours is trust. Think, plan, and prepare, relate, uncover the need, offer a solution, take massive action. If you can't think of anything else, take massive action, right? AMP, attitude moment process, because you've got to get started, guys. Motivation gets us started. Discipline sustains us. Motivation gets us started. Discipline sustains us. Thanks, everybody, for jumping in. I love all your words. Thanks for commenting. I'll respond to some of your questions privately and personally. Edwin, I appreciate you guys. Go out, play hard, have fun, and above all else, make it count. All right, guys? Make it count right now. 2023, baby. It's your year. Go big. Play hard, have fun, make it count. And, man, Edwin, we got this, baby. We got it.